What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
Armored vehicles of neutral Sweden, both in times of peace and in times of war, the Swedish automobile industry produced simple trucks and primitive armored vehicles, which were not distinguished by attractive shapes and advanced solutions. At the same time, despite the state neutrality, declared in February 1940, Sweden allowed Nazi troops to pass through its territory, and produced 40mm anti-aircraft guns Bofors of its own design. Scania Varbi's military products. The company Scania Varbis, later Scania, had the longest experience in building military vehicles. For the National Army since 1940, it produced rear-wheel drive standard 3.5-ton bonneted trucks and cab-over trucks with a 140 horsepower gasoline engine and a single wheelbase of 3.8 meters. At the height of the war for the Royal Air Force, the company assembled the original staff bus Scania Varbis TRM-9, 4x2, model 8116 on a 3-ton special chassis with all single wheels and antenna equipment on special roof racks, where command posts and radio stations were placed to service remote and forest military airfields. In 1943-45, 323 such vehicles were assembled. Yesterday and today, a Swedish Air Force TRM-9 airfield command post in the body of an Pound 38F Army bus. 1943. In 1942, the production of the Army bonneted truck F11, 4x4, of commercial type with a new overhead valve 4-cylinder gasoline engine with 115 horsepower, simple cab, and the same size of wheelbase, 3.8 meters, began. The 4-speed gearbox could drive all its wheels or only the rear wheels, with a built-in mechanical winch and cable output on both sides of the vehicle. Unusual Scania transporters on truck chassis in 1942. An amazing and unusual find of Swedish designers were multi-purpose armored transporters SKP, Scania Carrosserie Pansar, for delivery of 12 to 18 people, mounted on modified 3-ton Scania Varbis F11-0, 4x4, chassis. Different versions served in the Swedish border force and police, in local operations and Swedish units of UN troops in Cyprus, Congo, etc. The hulls of these vehicles had a 2-seat cabin with side doors and a passage to the cargo compartment with armored roof, winch and a turret with machine guns of 7.62 or 7.92mm caliber. The lower steel V-shaped shields were designed to reflect the energy of anti-personnel mines blast wave. These vehicles used 105 and 115 horsepower engines, conventional gearbox, hydraulic brakes, and 3-ton winches. Their weight reached 8.5 tons, maximum speed, 70 km per hour. Until 1947, 252 of these trucks were assembled in Sweden. Volvo military products. The beginning of World War II did not affect the activities of the company Volvo, born in the spring of 1927 and continued to quietly produce civilian cars and commercial trucks. Nevertheless, in 1940, the company began preliminary development of military equipment in the hope that before the end of the war, it would not need to organize serial production of army vehicles, from light Swedish jeeps to 3-axle tractors. The lightest in this range was the Volvo 911 TPV, 4x4, staff car with a fully enclosed body from the 8-seat cab PV802 with a 3-meter wheelbase. It was equipped with a 6-cylinder engine of 86 horsepower, a simple gearbox and reinforced tires, if necessary, with snow chains. In 1944 to 46 years, 210 trucks were built. In the 30s, on the basis of several types of serial Volvo trucks with Landsverk bodies and cast or pneumatic tires, the company built simplified semi-armored vehicles of the FM31 family with a crew of 5 or 6 people, 37mm cannons in the open turret and a machine gun in the frontal armor plate, designed for the Swedish Army. Until 1940, 30 more such armored vehicles with 20 and 37mm Bofors cannons were built. In 1942, under the direction of engineer Hartelius, Volvo began to introduce a new family of Army 3-ton bonneted trucks for their delivery of Army supplies or 16 to 20 soldiers. Similar basic paramilitary versions TLV-131, TLV-140, TLV-141 and TLV-142, 4x4, differed by different engine power, 90 and 105 horsepower, hydraulic, and pneumatic brakes, hood shape, winch, and 2 wheelbases, 3.8 and 4.1 m. Some trucks were produced until 1955, and the total number of assembled trucks reached 1,000 units. In the post-war years, these vehicles were repeatedly modernized and reconstructed until the early 70s. At the same time with the SKP transporters, the Volvo company built its own armored vehicles VKP, Volvo Carrosserie Panzer, on the TLV 131 chassis. In total, Volvo produced 200 vehicles. Legendary 3 all-terrain tractors during the war years, the most interest was in the stealthy area of Volvo's Heavy 3 axle artillery tractors with twin cabs. In 1940–41, the company produced 148 semi-armored artillery tractors TVB, 6x4, with double-row 8-seat cab, 6-cylinder engine. With 128 horsepower, original onboard transmission, balanced suspension of rear single wheels and 10-ton winch. In 1942, a cab-over 10-ton tractor TVC, 6x6, with a double cab, created under license from the Czechoslovak company Skoda, was presented. The power of its power unit increased to 135 horsepower, and the front wheels received an independent suspension and individual cardan drive from the transfer gearbox. In 2 years, 168 TVCs were assembled. In the final phase of the war, Volvo built prototypes of TVC2 and TVC3 tractors with a new 180 horsepower engine. The first was equipped with a conventional 5-speed gearbox, the second, semi-automatic Wilson with a 2-stage transfer gearbox. The TVC3 variant with GVW of 11 tons was equipped with a winch with a pulling force of 10 tons, which towed the heaviest guns and damaged armored vehicles weighing up to 50 tons. 1944–45. The title photo shows a 1960 model Scania Vabis SKPF transporter for the Swedish UN troops in the exposition of the Swedish Army Museum in Stockholm. Authentic black and white illustrations are used in the article. Original color photos were made by the author. In conclusion, Sweden's military vehicles during World War II, including the Combat Volvo and others, reflect a unique approach to neutrality in a time of global conflict. These vehicles not only serve practical purposes but also showcase Sweden's engineering ingenuity and commitment to defense without direct involvement in the war. By examining these remarkable machines, we gain insight into how a nation navigated the complexities of warfare while maintaining its sovereignty. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Sweden's military history.